Hi, it's Rostislav. Welcome to the principle number 4. And right away, the question to you. What is the most determinant factor of any language acquisition? I'll tell you. It is the environment. And I'll explain. In the environment you live, you acquire your language almost unconsciously. Unconsciously means when something happens without your awareness of it. You just live your life, do some of your daily activities, and don't realize that at the same time you learn the language which people speak around you. If you were born and lived in Russia, for example, it gives almost 100% that you speak Russian. But what does make you a Russian speaker? What is that? Is that just the fact that you live in the territory of Russian Federation? Of course not. It's the language you hear on a daily basis, the traditions and people's behavior around you, the aspects of local culture, and many other things. That's what makes you a Russian speaker. Do you see my point? Well, the principle number 4 states, create English environment around you as much as possible. What I mean saying that? I mean that your progress in English directly depends on the time you spend in English environment. The more you are in that environment, the better your progress in English is. And the really good news is that you can create this environment yourself. Today we have great possibilities for that, which we've never had before. Today you don't need to go to some English-spoken country as the only way to come into English-spoken environment. Because the internet has erased these informational borders. There are virtually no limits in this field any longer. Today's world is globalized. I don't know how good or bad it's going to be in the long time perspective, but when it comes to learning languages, now we have great advantage and we should use it. Nowadays you can easily find great amount of English video, audio and reading materials online and get many of them for free just downloading it onto your computer. There are a tremendous amount of books, stories, movies, videos in English about almost every subject in the world. And you can choose the most interesting of them for you. For example, if you like history, start listening and reading about history, or watch history movies and documentary in English instead of Russian, or any other language which is your native. And I know it may be really hard to understand normal English talk if you don't have enough listening skills in English. And that's why I have created the Basic Fluency course, which is designed to make in you a proper, solid foundation on which you'll be able to build your own English house, figuratively speaking. When you have correct and strong foundation, you can build it yourself without risk for that house to be noted or broken down. Because it's really hard to break a house with good foundation. And that is where I see my part, to help you to make this foundation. And when this foundation in you is ready, then day after day your building will grow, motivating you work more and more to make this building the house of your dream, where you feel comfortably and confidently. And I'm telling you that using this kind of building metaphor as to the builder of your own success. Because ultimately, you are the only one who can build it for yourself. Okay, what's next? If you need English for your career, start using materials in the area of your expertise. Find materials about your subject in English and use them as often as possible. minimizing the use of your own language and maximizing the use of English. And you will grow in both directions, in your subject and in English. What else? You can try to watch movies in English, but start from the easiest ones, where you can understand the storyline, in case if you won't be able to understand some talks. I highly recommend you to watch simple TV serials with subs, or cartoons if you like them. But whatever materials you use, that must be something easy for you to understand. But before you start watching movies, I recommend you first to lay good foundation by repetitive listening to the same materials. Otherwise, watching without understanding can be quite boring thing. Well, listen and read in English a lot. Provide plentiful input for yourself. Fill your vessel as much as possible. Then your understanding of normal talk will improve dramatically, and your output is going to be much easier and more fluid. Okay, listening is a very important thing, but gradually you have to start to use your spoken apparatus. As a child, first listens, then starts to speak little by little. Well, try to find some people to speak with. There are native speakers, but it's not critical because the world has a great amount of non-native English speakers who you probably are going to meet as well, and pretty often. So use every possibility to speak English. Try to find people with whom you have similar interests. This is the best reason for communication. There is the thread that connects different people from different worlds, I would say. Because we have different cultures, religions, sets of beliefs, and many other things which are very different. And sometimes it's really hard for people from different cultures to find common ground. And the word communication itself means having something in common, as you can see from this word. Other words, there must be some reason for communication. The matter is that most of native English speakers will not talk to you just because you want to speak English. That is the bad reason. Of course, if you have enough extra money, you can easily find some people online who will be happy to teach you English via Skype for $20, $30 per hour. And these are English teachers. If you can afford it, then it's just one of the options for you. But if you want to meet some interesting people, to make friends with somebody, then you can find a lot of communities where different people talk about different subjects they are interested in. And you can find yours. If you love cars, for example, find a community of people who love cars and try to chat with them, participate in discussions on the forums, and of course use Skype or any other app to communicate with those people. If you love flowers, then search accordingly. Find people who share your interests and try to use every possibility to practice your English. But don't be very pushy in order not to look silly. Sometimes person who learns foreign language can break in other people's talk where he or she is not welcome. And they do that just because he or she needs speaking practice. And that is not the good reason for that. Well, be smart. Avoid such situations. But as for the rest, be brave to get contact with other people and keep communication. When talking, try to relax and have fun. Well, create English environment around you, and day by day you'll become more and more confident English speaker. That's it for today's video. Thanks for your attention and your time, and see you in the next one. Take care.